Hello, everyone. How you guys doing? Welcome back to the official Nick Walsh TV channel. We're here to play spins. It's a Monday, and like I said in previous weeks, Mondays and Fridays are not traditionally stream days. So I'm just trying to fix the boom box here. They're not traditional stream days as per our classical streaming schedule. However, I'm trying to stream a little bit more this year, so we're going to try and sneak in on Mondays and Fridays. And if that means we do a shorter stream, so be it. We're here to do a shorter stream. Apologies, guys. I've been busy all morning. Part of like adding Mondays into our stream schedule actually involves encroaching upon a bunch of other stuff that we try and do on a Monday. But whatever. We're here to play spins. Let's play some spins. And let's take a look at our results so far. All right, so this is our graph. This is our spin and go graph since the merge. Since spin and goes became spin and go merge, since they went from flash and reg speed to the combination of both. And we're making progress here. Let's filter specifically for this year. I did put in some grind this weekend, you guys, and you can see we're putting a fair dent into this. We are now at an all-time high in terms of EV. And yeah, this weekend I just really was feeling like kind of like I wanted to get some action in. I wanted to play some games with fewer regs, so obviously playing at weekends is always going to be better for that, and we certainly experienced that. We are redlining the shit out of this right now, guys, and I have to say, we're not running super hot in the blue line right now. It's our red line completely sustaining us, and I think that shows a lot of improvement because, of course, if we can make our red line less losing and we can make our blue line as winning as possible, that's how we profit maximally. And it's obviously going to fluctuate. We're not always going to be able to accomplish this, but this is where we're at right now. So let's get into some games. We're playing $25 games. If you guys are new here, we're going to play $25 spin and goes. Any results that we have here will be tracked and will go towards the challenge when it's finally live. At this point, guys, the challenge situation is not. It's going to be a thing. We're doing the challenge. I'm going to announce all the official rules and everything of it. It's not that complicated, but at this point, I'm waiting on confirmation for when best to launch that. And it's not currently my call, as it were. All right. But the cards don't love me back. All right. Hello, everybody in the chat. Ed K is here. Eagle Hunter's here. Roxas here. Thomas here. What's up, guys? Thanks for hanging out. I think we can do a little check raise on these boards. Should we give him a little check raise-a-roo? Give him a little check raise-a-roni. All right, Queen 8. Going to a shove. 10. Nice hand to raise. And this is not the worst start. We're going to win this one a lot of the time at non-showdown, as well as improving to the hearts. Once we hit that queen, I do think that there's some checking we can do here, because we are supposed to have a fair number of bluffs as well. We're checking for deception here. I don't think we're ever really going to get away from our hand. Oh. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, we're not folding. Our opponent could have an ace, I suppose. Not going to have an ace that often, but I think we have the best hand too much, and we also have too much equity, so want to get away from it. Yeah, that's exactly the combo that you would expect to be limp call strat. Conversely, I suppose, totally capable of having some semi-bluffs in these situations as well for that size, but yeah, it's just way too good. We have a situation where we have mountains of equity if we have the worst hand. We will have the best hand a lot. But I think Alex plays his hand really well in this situation. He's unlucky there. We actually, obviously run into one of the worst case scenarios. Reg v reg, we're going to call the queen 7 suited. This is going to be completely approved for the 7 big blinds. And we do win our first game of the day. I say first game of the day. I actually played a little bit of volume this morning, gang. We do get lucky with the queen 10, but again, what else are we going to be doing here? On that board, we just are kind of going to go busto most of the time. And when I say busto, I mean we're going to get the chips, and I don't necessarily mean we're going to lose. Yep, Soren wakes up with it here. Not the worst outdraw board. All right. Yes, running good feels fantastic. All right, we're going to do this. We're not going to call the jam, though. Chip on the table. Yeah, ace-queen waking up with it there is a lovely spot for our friend Soren, but unlucky on the all-ins. And now we take him to town. Put a little trap in here. Great flop for us. Our opponent will give us a lot of action on the deuce tray board as well. Getting check raised here is kind of like whatever. We're obviously just going to kind of go broke. Our opponent really should never have ace, tray, ace, deuce. So the hands we lose to here are the straight or the 2 pair with the tray and the deuce, but also, we want them to kind of go broke here. On this turn, I think we keep calling. We should have the best hand here a mountain of the time. Sometimes deuce tray will be in there, of course, but what are we supposed to do? So, looks like maybe it was just the straight draw. We can still get called by a tray some of the time, I guess. Or jack 5. Yeah, okay, that was the straight draw that hit the jack. Nice one. Lovely stuff. Really good outcome there. Check raising jack 5 on that board is probably not ridiculous. I don't think it's very high frequency, though. What's up, Korax? I know. Does he ever lose? Great question. Great question. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Again, I repeat, I feel like I haven't seen you face-to-face in absolutely ages, mates. Are we going to get any Korax at Irish Open? What? Are you coming to Irish Open? You should be at Irish Open. I think we could use some of that. Oh, just getting an invite to tonight's cash game. Cash game tonight, maybe. Can we win 100 buckers? 100 buckaroonies. That is a great emote. It looks like Lex wearing. He looks like a character from. He looks like a character from what is it called? Starship Troopers. Hello, Lisa. Welcome to the stream. Pleasure to have you here. There's helmet mode on GG Poker that blocks all emotes and throwables. Lex sometimes has to turn around when he's 20 tabling. Amazing. Ace Queen unlucky here. We have been running pretty good, to be fair. That's really funny. Never go full helmet mode. Hella Dunbar, good to see you, mates. John is here as well. I haven't said hi to John yet. How you doing, buddy? 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9. No, that was too wide. That was too wide, guys. It's different. It's 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10 we can push there, but it'll work. Lisa says, at least the music is better today. This is the exact song that was playing when you said it was rubbish, Lisa. This is literally the exact track that was playing. But now it's my time, baby. My time to win. Yeah, it was a nice treat this weekend, guys, to get a chance to play against some fresh faces. We ultimately... yeah, we had a lot of fun this weekend. It was grindy, but we did manage to win some EVs and get a little bit more on track for the challenge, which felt really, really good. I got to make some more tracks, by the way. I put that on my list of things to do. By the way, that podcast is edited now, guys. Hopefully that'll get released this week sometime. New stream music. So at the moment, it's the 9th of February today. We've played 721 games so far this year, so we're off track in terms of timing. But obviously, we have a lot more. We have a lot more to look forward to here this year. We're gonna be putting in more streams, obviously, but also we're gonna be playing somewhat higher on Fridays, hopefully. We're also going to be playing a little bit off stream. So if I remember right, we have to play. What's the number? So we want to play 10,000 games. It'll be a little bit less potentially if we're playing slightly higher sometimes. But again, there's a debate as to whether or not we should include the higher stakes. We should just keep the 25s in here as the challenge, similar to the 50K where we just did 10s. And then if we play higher, we'll just keep track of those separately. But if we want to play 10,000 games divided by 12 months, we need to play 833 games a month. Now, obviously, last month we got off to a slower start because it was the start of the year. We had some other stuff we were doing. Just looking at... So we're about 100 games away from hitting our first month target, and today is the 9th of this month. I think we'll be okay. I don't think that's completely ridiculous. I don't know. I think maybe I should just fold turn against flop against this guy. Hello, Top Bird. Welcome back. Thank you for the good lucks. Wishing you plenty of run good today, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you, my bro. King of Poker. All right, let's see if we can beat this guy heads up. I would really enjoy that. I am keen. Ooh. Well, this is a really spicy one. Let's raise. We'll go broke if we need to. Oh. Okay. If we're getting clickbacked, now let's go for it. Wish me luck, guys. It's a 2x multi. Oh my goodness gracious me. That is a cold deck of biblical proportions. Very lucky river, however. This is just majestic. Flush draw over, queen high flush draw over ace high flush draw is pretty sad, isn't it? Okay, jack high flush draw. Should we do jack high flush draw over over ace high flush draw again? No, that time we picked it up. Nice one. What's up, DJ Funny Bone? Hello, Soda Pop. Good to see you. Honestly, that DJ Funny Bone thing that Joe did, it's like that's just one of my favorite memes that we have on tour. We will be in Paris as well shortly, guys, of course, for the European Poker Tour and the Spin and Go Championships, which I am very, very excited about. I am very excited about all that. All right. Hello, Red Zeppelin. Welcome to the stream over on YouTube. Hello. Okay, my guy is gambling. All right. Straight draw. All right, let's go for a little lead here. And I would really, really love to just spike this river. No such luck for the min click on the turn. Interesting move here with the queen five. We actually end up having the entire deck working in our favor here. Oh, absolutely hilarious. We get min raised on the turn by queen high, no hand, no draw. Any 10, any 7, any jack, any 6. So our draw was even bigger than we thought, and we still bricked it all. Nice hand, buddy. All right, no good in the flip here. All Gucci, though. All right, next game. Ace, king of spades, no action, I'm afraid. Come on, give me some action with the 10s, please. No. Ed K says 7 days of poker action is going to be brilliant. More people will get to see the live bonus spins as well. Exactly. Yeah, so this year, I don't remember the exact dates, but we're going to be starting with the Spin and Go Championship at the very beginning of Paris. And then we'll finish with our European Poker Tour coverage as per usual. And hey, Circadian, good to see you. Thank you for the good lucks. Yeah, that's not going to go that time. That one's not going to fly. That one isn't going to fly this time. And nope, Jack Deuce isn't going to go here either. An ace with a deuce is good enough, blind v blind. Yeah, the Jack Nine of Hearts call here is very appropriate against me. No good with the all-in. Still a big blind and a dream here. Still one big blind and a dream. Come back here. Can we get a little comeback going with the Jack 5 o'clock? Oh, the fold there is massive. The fold is actually a massive spot. We might get some protection here, so we'll run this one as well. If if the big blind folds after the jam, we actually end up having a lot of extra dead money in there in relation to our stack. 1.5 big blinds to 4 big blinds is pretty juicy. Next game. Yeah. Very reg heavy, very reg heavy. These things are sent to test us. Mr. Andy. That's annoying. Against the reg, we will be calling, of course. We don't lose too much equity here. We are dominated, obviously. But those two hands run pretty close. And I do find more often than not, other regs are playing a very nashy push range, blind v blind, even at 15. So, let's just follow the rules. Follow the rules, hope for the best. Ace 9 of the heart variety is an absolute monstro. We are going all in here. El Monstro confirmed. King and a jack. Straightforward stuff here from out of position. And 9 deuce ain't gonna cut it. Sorry guys, let me resize this a little bit. There we go. That's more like it. Yeah, we're playing a 2x multi here, guys. The 6-5 suited would be a push there, blind v blind. Once there's been action ahead of us, of course, we're not going to get folds, so sounds good. I'm all in. But I still want it. Yeah, we're going to keep it balanced here with the push. Against the regs, we don't ever have a min-raise there, so we just need to be balanced and hope for the best. It's the best way for us to look weak against a reg who will call with the correct range. And at that stack depth, it's going to be pretty wide, so just go for it here. If we're against unknowns, we can do all kinds of nonsense that we can be happy with. So yeah, today, guys, a little bit of a shorter stream. We're still going to do some review. In fact, I think we got a lot of hands for review. Yeah, we actually have a bunch of hands I marked from my earlier offline session. I think between streaming, a little bit more online, between streaming more with you guys here like we're doing now, and a little bit of offline, I think we'll easily clear 10K games this year, no problem, which will get us to our $250,000 target, if that is indeed what we decide to go for. 10,000 is just a nice round number. $250,000 is a nice amount to just say $250,000 and just leave it at that, right? So I think that's probably what we'll do. I'm all in. King and a tray. King with the tray, no good. Good game for us. Next game, please. Oh, I haven't done my casino spin today. Why does it do this? Why do you do this to me? Alright, I'm gonna restart stars after this game, guys. King and a queen. Fair fight. Hey, Double Buddha, what's up? Go get him, Tiger. Thank you, mate. I'm going to try my best. Top Herd says you'll go to Paris for the Spin Championship. Yes, absolutely. So I will be playing the Spin and Go Championships. I will also be commentating on the Spin and Go Championships. I'll also be commentating on the European Poker Tour main event with James and Joe and Griff and the whole gang as per usual. I mean, it'd be fantastic if Maria would join us as well. I'm not sure if Maria is going to be in Paris, but we'd love to see her there, of course. Oh, does call. I gave myself the opportunity to do something weird, and then I decided against it. Devin Smith, what's up? Good to have you back. How you doing today? Honestly, probably not a bad spot to have a bluff. If you are Mr. Andy here. Double Butt is on a 3-stream streak. Let's go. Thank you, bruv. I don't think this is a bluff that often, but we also don't have a hand to call. Just going to try and conserve chips in these spots and not go too rowdy. I'd say we're plenty aggressive enough in those spots already. Probably a little bit too aggro, in fact. I'm always chasing something. Keep it checking. Pair of fours on the river. Might turn my hand into a bluff. Might turn my hand into a bluff. And 7 with the 4. Top Bird says, very nice. Hopefully you can hit a nice spin on the wheel this time. I mean, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Last time was underwhelming, to say the least. Underwhelming, to say the least. Can we win it all in? Queen. Good game for us so far, guys. We are putting them in the box here pretty good, but like maybe the all-in department needs a little bit of work as per usual. Come on now, heads up. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Queen 6, Queen 6, Queen 6, Queen and a 6, Queen and a 6. Yeah, the 9-7 is textbook here, though, to be fair. The Jack 10 was also textbook. Andy X, I mean, I'm pretty sure I just have him labeled as a reg. Yeah, that's actually not a sin, what we have labeled either. Andy X, honestly, top reg. I don't know if he's literally the top of the regs, but he's definitely a very good reg. Definitely a good reg. Now on the flop, we're gonna have a lot of betting. Our opponent's gonna bet a lot often on this board, but we are not folding yet. There's a question mark as to whether or not we actually check raise here. Oh, once we hit that 7, guys. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Polarize. Polarize. We polarize. Polarize. I think we were winning with king high anyway is the problem. Checking is out of the question. The check will not get enough bluffs. Betting 1. We have a king in our hand, so he's not going to have that many king highs, or as many king highs. Thank you very much. That was I can't read it from here. I got to change the font color on there, don't I? Where are we doing? Seven big blinds. 7 big blinds. Okay. So, thank you to whoever that was. Let me give you a proper shout out. This was... shout out to Hackerstack. Very kind of you, mates. Thank you for the follow. No. Aces is a good hand. We can still trap here believably as well. We can still tramp. We're just going to do this for balance. Our opponent is not going to raise fold this spot like ever, so we know we're going to get the chips in. Very different, though. That's a specific stack depth, right? At that stack depth, our opponent does not raise folds. If they are deeper stacked, we don't just want to default to shoving aces. We want to still have calls. Top Bird says Andy is a longtime player. I know. I'm sure even after we well, we were playing at the 10s, obviously, for the challenge last year, but not because of bankroll restrictions or anything. We was just trying out the new format, but Andy's a name I recognize from long times. Top Bird says, I still think Prinzel is probably the best reg of the 25s. I've said this before, Top Bird. I'm pretty sure you even clipped me saying this. I think that Prinzel is a top reg. However, I can't tell if you're trolling me because you keep bringing it up. You keep tagging me in these. Or you keep clipping these. Here, one sec. Where's that clip? All right, where's my NickWalshTV videos, clips, top 7 days. Clip from Top Bird. Prinzel is the top reg. Pocket tens. Double Buddha, I don't really have an opinion. I feel like I've heard something about this, but I hadn't actually seen it yet. So I don't know what that looks like. I mean, you know I'm a sucker for a sit and go. You know I love a sit and go. Odyssey Monkey says, off work 6, so I've got you on the big telly for a change. Thank you, buddy. Thanks, dude. Thank you for the support, as always. And we're not going anywhere with ace-9. Monstrous hand. Dominate loads of these shoves as well. For example, ace-5. It's a dominator. Woo! I'm married to the cards, but the cards don't love me back. 2x multi, no messing around. Get the chips in the middle here with the ace. And no, not quite. And yes, yes, please. And no, no, thank you. And yes, against this player. We're going to play this one. Got the turn. Check the river. Nice. No. Topper, I didn't mean that in the sense you were trolling me like you were. I meant like I got the impression you guys were friends, and I was thinking that you were trying to clip it to send it to him. I'm trying to boost his ego. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. I know you didn't mean anything by it. No, it's 2.6 bigs, you bum. You can't fold any 2. All right, full comeback. Even Stevens. Yeah, no, I did. When I saw that there was a clip, I got the impression that that was the case. All right. 2x multiplication. Bit too wide. Just a little bit too wide. Yeah, Tom, it was a nice run out, wasn't it? Cinco de Mayo. Cuatro de Mayo. And let's get this over with here. Pocket fives, domination situation. 5 Cinco de Mayo. Oh, walk there is huge. And 9 deuce has actually got to be a fold as well. Not. This is going to be dead close. I think we can fold against this guy, though. Hey, Devin Smith, what's up? Hey, Nick, what is a good chippy V on the new merge spins? I love your stream, and I like this format as it doesn't take up my whole day or evening like MTTs. That is a huge pull for spinning goes being something, you know, people should play if they want a little bit of action. I don't remember this one. I don't remember 8 tray of spades, guys. I don't remember it. But if I don't remember it, that probably means it's a fold, right? Sorry, Devin. Yeah, sorry. You're asking what is a good chippy V in the new format. So it depends what stake you're playing. Because, of course, the amount that you need to win to be break-even plus is dictated by your by the rake and also by your chippy V, right? So I would say that if you can get to anything that looks like 18 chips per game or higher, you're going to be probably doing very well. At lower stakes, you should be able to get a much higher chippy V, though. So the lower the stake, obviously the edge should be significantly larger. But if we're looking at the 10s or the 25s, if you could get to like 18 chips, 19 chips per game, that would be probably very good. And then obviously you got to smash some volume and maximize your rewards, and the rewards will be a significant part of your edge as well, because that's kind of like you're reclaiming. That's an unlucky flop. That's a great turn. That's a really unlucky river. But yeah, basically, by getting higher rewards, you're reclaiming the edge that you've lost to the rake effectively. But yeah, and Devin, if you ever need any help, hit me up on Discord and we can talk about strategy or have a bit more of an in-depth conversation. But let's say you're playing the 10s. If you could hit 18, 19 chips a game or higher, I think you're doing very well. Yes, let's go with this one. Hello, Grok in YouTube chat. We're not folding to the min at 3 bets. Oh, that is a really awful river. And also, what the fuck is this? Stupid river. How many spins in a row do you think are optimal to maintain focus and avoid frustration? I know it might depend on each player, but what would you say is optimal for you? So it really does depend, mate. I wish there was a more straightforward answer. I know people that can sit and play spinning goes until their eyes bleed and they lose very little focus over time. They lose very little edge. I know other people that will sit and play spinning goes till their eyes bleed as long as they're winning, and then as soon as they start to lose, then they lose. They start to lose their edge very quickly. I know some people who start to lose and their edge increases because they're grinders and they really enjoy the challenge of really going for it, you know, under difficult circumstances. What I would say, let me put it this way instead, Grok. If you want to take spin and goes seriously, what I would do is I would say, how many games do I want to play this year? Like, you know, what does that look like? I want to play 20,000 games this year. I want to play 30,000 spins this year. Whatever the number is. This one's annoying. Okay. Let me get this whole statement out because it's probably very useful. Man, Ziska got so lucky with that king. That's so annoying. First of all, the min 3-bet is not a thing with that hand. And then we managed to actually fade putting another bet in the river as well. It is like the perfect payoff river for us to go for another street, but we recognize the king might be not ideal. Not that we're giving him too many of those combos exactly. Yeah, we can't fold this one, guys. Wish me luck. The queen 8 push is really good, though. This is good. These two are funny. Alright, let's have a little bet at the flop. And fold that one. Is it hard to get approved? Good question. Sorry, Grok, stick around one sec. I'll give you the speech in a sec here. Alright. So hopefully we can beat Ziska heads up. We've already seen some nonsense. To be fair to Ziska, that also could have just been like a misclick, but I'm not sure. I'm getting a vibe here. Getting a vibe Ziska is playing a crazy game. So let's see if we can put in some traps. So if they are the kind of player who is min 3-betting a suited king in that position, I think they probably do end up being more aggressive than most, and perhaps with the wrong combinations. And if they don't lead, we're just going to bet this flop. Alright, let's put this into the jam category. Peanut butter and jam. Stupid run out. Comeback is definitely real though here. Come back from 3.5 bigs, no problem at all. Oh, getting to walk with 7 deuces, so good. That feels so fantastic. Live cards, no problem. Comeback is real. Comeback is real. Nice hand. All right, so Grok, let me get back to this. So basically, guys, just a reminder. Grok said, quick question, how many spins in a row do you think are optimal to maintain focus and avoid frustration? I know it might depend on each player, but what would you say is optimal for you? Okay, so here's how I would go about this, Grok, because there's a couple things you want to think about. Number one, what are my objectives, right? If you enjoy playing spin and goes and you don't want to set yourself a target of how many spins you want to play a year because it's just a format that you enjoy playing, you don't need to do any of this. Just play when you want to play, and if you don't feel like playing, you shouldn't be playing poker full stop, like at all, like any kind of poker, right? You should only want to play poker when you actually want to play poker. You shouldn't mindlessly play poker. You shouldn't autopilot poker. If you're in the mood and you're feeling good about it and you're feeling excited about it and you're feeling like you enjoy playing poker at that moment, that's when you want to play it, okay? Spinning goes, if you want to take them seriously, require that you play a lot of volume, right? So you might set yourself a volume target like we're setting ourselves a target this year. So I'm going to set myself a target of around $10,025 games. That's $250,000 played or turned over. That sounds like a giant number. It's really not that big when you think about spinning goes because it's a three-handed winner-take-all format. There's a lot of back and forth. So, you know, saying that I'm playing $250,000 of poker in a year sounds really impressive. It's actually probably a very low amount of volume if I was going to be, you know, grinding full time. And also, of course, that omits the fact that you're going to be winning about 33% of the games you play or whatever. So a lot of that money is returned and hopefully in some profitable fashion as well. So on that basis, I don't think that it is a good idea to set yourself targets that limit your ability to play volume. So the question is, how many would you play in a row to maintain optimal sort of focus and not get frustrated with the game? Everybody's different. Some people can play loads of tables at the same time, which means the amount of time they grind is limited. Some people will not be able to play as many tables, so they're going to have to grind for longer, but that allows them to be more focused and have a higher chip EV. So that's another component. But rather than thinking about it in I'm gonna set myself a limit of 40 games today or 50 games today or something like that. If you're playing 50 games and you're cruising and you're feeling super confident and everything is going right and the games are really good, you don't want to stop just because you decided that, you know, if you play more than that you're going to get frustrated or you're going to lose focus. Now, through study and through actual analysis of your game, you might be able to find where that cutoff point is. And then if that is a truth, then you can actually sort of apply some restrictions on the way that you play the game. So, for example, I had a friend who is, I still have a friend, he's not gone. I have a friend who is a PLO player, an online PLO player. He's probably the best at what he does. He's very, very, very good. And he realized that when he played longer sessions, his win rate just about halved, right? So he'd get off to a good start, and then he'd be like, this is going really well, and then he'd play more. And he realized after like 4 years of analysis from his database that had he played shorter sessions, he would have actually won more dollars, which kind of blows your mind, right? It's like work smarter, not harder, right? He was so hell-bent on making the most of his sessions and trying to push himself to play longer to win more, it actually ended up costing him in the long run, and he would have won more by actually putting in less work, which is kind of a fun one. So rather than thinking about it in the sense that you want to go, I'm going to set myself a limit of 50. If you have scientific evidence from your database to prove that after a certain amount of time you need a break, you should definitely be doing that. If you are in tune enough with your own sort of body and mind, and you can go, I'm playing like an idiot right now, I need to walk, then you are allowed to just play. But let's say that you have a target of 20,000, 30,000 games in a year. Obviously, there are going to be days when you're just going to have to play, even though perhaps it's not your favorite thing to do. I go back to my initial statement. If you are not in the mood to play poker, you should not play poker. But if you want to hit a certain target, there are days when you might grind and it might be a little bit less than optimal. But I think it's important that you basically just have the things in place to go, okay, this is a warning sign, I'm not playing well today, or I need a day off. And also, if you break it down into the course of a year, rather than thinking about individual sessions, you actually know how much you're allowed to get away with, right? So if you set yourself a target, and you know that means you have to play 900 or 1,000 spins a month or whatever it is, you can break that up however you want. So let's say you're playing 4 days, and all those days were fantastic, and you're feeling super good, and you were going to play for a couple hours, but now you're feeling like you're killing it. Crack on, make the most of those days, and then in a couple days' time, if you're feeling like shit and you don't want to play, you've given yourself a little bit of runway to avoid those spots and still hit your goals, your targets overall. Grok says, I've been grinding MCTs for 10 years and had a brutal downswing for the past few months, so I'm grinding spins to rebuild the bankroll. At the moment, I'm playing 140, 160 spins per day in 4 sessions. I think that's a great way to break it up. Having a couple hours, then breaking it up is good. Having a couple hours and breaking it up is fantastic. 140 to 160 is very good volume. I know people that play a lot more, but I would say that that is a very substantial amount to put in, especially if, you know, this isn't your main format. That sounds very healthy to me. If you said, Nick, I want you to go back and play spins full time, I would probably play a morning session, an afternoon session, and then an evening session if I felt like it. And I would probably break it up like that. Couple hours, couple hours, couple hours. 3 tabling, 4 tabling. Something like that. I mean, I can try and work that out for you. So let's say 3-hour sessions. That is 1 tabling. Yeah. Like 3-hour sessions or something like that, Monday to Friday. Well, actually, sorry, if I was playing full time, it would probably be, you'd probably want to play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those are great days to play. But you get what I'm saying. Not Monday to Friday. I just mean like 5 days a week. Anyway, on to the next one. I hope that was helpful and I wasn't just rambling. I've given myself a target of 5,000 spins this year. I think that's a great target, Ed. I think that's very doable, especially if you're starting from January. Oh, it's Stranky. God damn it. Stranky. That gosh darn Stranky. All right, Stranky's definitely calling with ace-jack on the turn. Stranky. Classic Strankster. But yeah, hey, good luck, Grok. Let me know how it goes. If you ever want any help, hit me up on my Discord channel or, you know, anywhere really. Everybody who knows me knows I'm contactable everywhere all the time. I think I need to turn off some of my alerts, to be honest. But it's a tricky question, mate, and I think over time you get much better at, like, you know, self-reflection, and I think very quickly you start to get a good feel. Not everyone, but I think good players are particularly good at saying, I think it's time for me to just take a little break here. You know what I mean? Now rake it in. Rake it in. You ask if it changed me, I shrug and say some. Bills get paid on time now, but the past still hums. Money's just a jacket, keeps you warm till spring. It don't fix everything, but it sure helps things. Yeah, I rake it in, chip by chip, slow and thin. Didn't come here just to almost win. I came to rake it in. Stack on stack to the ceiling. Feels like luck, feels like healing. I was counting pennies, counting sins. Now I rake it in. There are weeks when the EPTs are on when I play no poker at all, so hopefully it will even out. It will. It will. I mean, so Ed, I did 5K games for the 50K challenge, as you know. I did that in 6 months. And with like loads of gaps for EPTs and other trips and stuff like that. So you should be totally fine. I mean, a lot of that was me one-tabling on stream as well. We started to do more multi-tabling towards the end, but, you know. This is what I came for. Down, down. Stranky. Bet on me. You bet on maybe. Grok says, thanks for your answer, man. Let's see how it works out. So far, so good. Hope you crush everything. Might hit you up if I need to. Yeah, of course, man. My pleasure, dude. I do find sometimes when I go off on a tangent, I ramble a little bit in these situations, but yeah, I think what I'm saying is true. 7. And Odyssey Monkey says, case in point, not about spins specifically, but I've been getting buried lately, so I'm just pausing to get my head straight and be fresh for scoop. That is a good way to do it. Poker is not fun if you're not having fun. I know that sounds stupid, and I know it sounds a lot like the Gamble Aware campaign or whatever. When the fun stops, stop, or whatever. But it's true. It's actually true. And you also play way better if you're having fun. So easy to play poker well when you're feeling it and you're in the mood and you're having a good time. I appreciate it's not easy to have a good time when you're losing, and sometimes that's outside of your control as well, but if I had a penny for every time can we really fold against the king of poker? Can we really fold against the king of the poker on the turn? On the river. Please check. This is so annoying. The king is obviously not a good river for us regardless, really. I'm going to go with my gut here. Let's mark that one for review as well. Because reg v reg, the response there is going to be pretty accurate, I think. Hey, Richie Rob, what's up? Hola, amigo. How did the challenge go? We managed to win a couple bucks. I think we ended up with something like a 1.75% ROI by the time we got to the end of the 5K games. There's an update on social, Richie. I got a reel about it with all the exact details. It was about 1.75 after rewards. King and a 9. Let's put in a steal. All right, so let's go like this. Ten is actually perhaps not even a very good card for us. I have a feeling about this one. I have a feeling about that one. Very Pacific feeling. All right. Just keep it balanced here. He watches out for the working man. Keeping it balanced. Getting action feels good. That is a nice little setup for us here. Hello, first-time chatter. Katsieras, hello. How you doing? So probably another 45 minutes or so of grind, and then we'll do some review, guys. Might have to finish the play a little bit earlier today to try and get through all the hands because I have a couple marked from earlier. Loads and loads of pre-flop spots, though, so those are nice and quick. Not too much analysis on those, just double-checking our work. Usually. All right, we are playing a 2x multi here, guys, so we're going to be playing this kind of fast and loose. Ace deuce all in here is definitely going to be plus EV. 9 in a tray. We're still on the deeper side. Let's try and get in there and play some pots if we can. 10 and a 7. Pair of sevens. Can't lose. Can't lose. Outkicked by the 7. I had a feeling. I had a feeling. I had a feeling he didn't have an 8 or a jack or a king. And we were right. We were completely right. And now he's got running trips. Okay, cool. Lovely stuff. Great finish. Yeah, very fair. Very fair. Didn't deserve that one. Very fair. Did not deserve that one. That was a gross game. A win is a win, Richie. That's right. Yeah, and you know, I spoke about it a little bit in the actual reel, but it was a win, and it was very respectable. But also obviously had a lot of our initial trying to learn how to play kind of stuff. Yeah, the final results obviously had all of those initial games we played when we were still trying to figure out the new format. And so our final results, if you filter out like the first 1,000 games or whatever, are much better, much more respectable numbers. Okay. Can we make it work? Can't miss. Yeah, counterfeit. heads up against the unknown player. We are playing a 2x multi though, so we don't get as much time to really make it work for us here. We don't have nearly as much time to try and dance around. We're going to try and get him off a chop here, chat. Oh, off the chop, baby. Get him off the chop. Feels so, so good. Queen and a 9, slam dunk. Queens, slam dunk. Not bad. All right. Take a little off the chop, Barber. Yes, John. Yes. All right, I'm gonna limp here, just because I think we're gonna get away with Moida. Get away with Moida, blind v blind here. Let's start betting on the turn. Okay. Gonna get away with Moida. Get away with Moida. Pocket nines. If we can catch King of Poker here. Woo. If we can catch the King of Poker in this spot. We're heads up again for the $100. Feels good. King 7, of course, textbook. King of Poker, way too good, mate. King of Poker, confirmed, way too good. Oh, middle set, baby. Yes, please. Oh, middle set, baby. We want this one to hold up for $100. Hey. Hey. All right, it's not working, but there we go. All right, we didn't need the boombox after all, but it was still a very groovy spot. I mean, if anything, maybe the boombox made it look weaker. I don't know. Anyway, happy days. Good spot for us here. All right, the boombox failed. The boombox failed, but that's okay. We won the game. Okay, $100, $100, $100. 100 of the dollars. 100 of your dollars. Pretty clean, guys. Pretty clean. All right. Huh. Do we even want to get mixed up in this spot? No, I don't want to. I refuse, chat. I've just decided I'm not into it. I decided that I'm not into that spot at all. Jack of spades, 7 of spades. Betting a flush draw. King and a 10 and the 2x multi. Yeah, we're going to go for it here. All right, we have a 4. This time, definitely feeling a little bit more inclined to continue, but I'm still going to stick to my guns here. I have a specific feeling about this spot. And this one is definitely fine. Let's just run this one. Let's run the 8-6 of hearts here. This is okay. This one is definitely going to be okay. Again, I'm just ramping up the aggression here a smidge. We missed our combo draw. Ramping up the aggression a smidge in the 2x multi. All right, no good. Next game. Pocket Jables. All right, Pocket Nines. What do you got for me? What do you got for me?
Watch my running little circle slide across that field. Every chip a quiet promise already built. I lost my last dollar on a baby, on a good shot dream I couldn't fold.
All right, should we check raise this flop? Guess not. That king might get us in trouble once in a while.
Me how it's going. I laughed and said it's fine. Truth is, I knew I'd broken something steady in my mind. A queen look kind and gentle, the king look sharp and true. Funny how a painted stranger can talk louder than you. I lost my last dollar on a baby, on a good shot dream I couldn't fold. Now my pockets feel like empty stories. All the silver turned to dust and old. Yeah, I bet my last dollar on a baby. Thought the river washed my sins away.
Fair fight. Club? Club would be a nice hand.
But I already knew house always gets its pay. So here I am, walking home, hands in threadbare jeans. Got a busted phone, bad excuse, and a head full of seams. Gonna lay it down on the table, tell you straight, no spin. I was hoping for a miracle, baby, and I lost again. I lost my last dollar on a baby, on a good shot dream I couldn't fold. Now my pockets feel like empty stories. All the silver turned to dust and old. Yeah.
All right, keep it up.
It just showed me what I already knew. I can't live my life this way. I swore this was the last night. Swore I'd just play small.
3x.
But the dealer knew my first.
Yeah, okay, interesting.
Knew I'd chase it all. Watch my running little circles slide across that field. Every chip a quiet promise
right. We got a lucky hit there with the king.
Ask me how it's going. I laughed and said it's fine.
Yep, fair play. 5. 5. 5. We're just going to always push the ace tray there.
The king looks sharp and true. Funny how a painted stranger
Yeah, we got to continue here. Managed to find a chop somehow. Yeah, we're way too short to be folding a jack there. It was for what, three and a bit bigs? Yeah, we got a call here. It's a 2x multi as well, so we have way less runway to try and avoid those higher variance spots. And we won't be folding ace deuce of spades. Ended up second here. Oh, never mind, first place. And the ace queen pusher here. 10-7 call is totally fine. Nice holds. All right, let's keep it going. Probably 1 or 2 more games, guys, and we'll look at some review for today. Don't forget this week, guys, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we will be doing our regular 2 p.m. streams. And I would anticipate, excuse me, I would anticipate that those are 3 hours plus proper streams. Andy. And we're not going to call the push here. See if we can sneak in with a limp. Hello, QB Trolls. What's up, buddy? Quarterback 4. Quarterback 4 Trolls. I need some coffee or something, guys. I'm supposed to be hitting the gym. All right, pretty straightforward stuff. Why is it not working? Totally fair. Yeah, Queen 7's got to go here. Nice. Heads up against Fabio. And we are definitely not getting away from King 5 of Hearts here. Monster hand there for 4 and a bit bigs. Same here again.
Through the hallway, I'm lost at sea, and she won't wait. I could take a break, or I could break a string on this soul guitar while you do all the same things. I don't fold my cards, baby. I'm all in. Another $100 hand, my hand still holding.
All right, here we go. Heads up against the world famous Andy X. Andy X10. Straight. Straight. Oh, too many outs. Oh. Too many outs, Monfrere. Too many outs. Too many outs syndrome. Far too many outs. Okay, guys, one more game and then we'll take a look at some review. And that will probably still take us. That will probably still take us to. That will probably still take us to 3-ish today. Probably a bit after, in fact. Oh, now we're betting big, I see. Don't have spades. Don't you dare have spades. Don't you dare have spades. We're going to shove. He's going to call. He's going to have pocket jacks with no spade in his hand. Close enough. We managed to do it, guys. Big spot there. Did feel like he had a pair between the, a pair under the queen there. Felt like maybe it might have been a pair in the hand, but here we have it.
Through the hallway, I'm lost at sea, and she won't wait. I could take a break, or I could break a string on this soul guitar while you do all the same things. I don't fold my cards.
All right, le push. Unfortunate setup. Unfortunate indeed. Oh. Nice answer. Managed to get a cheap turn. Cheap river, excuse me. Yep, King 8's got to be a call here. Nice hold on the turn. And the JT. All right, so just a call here. Once we hit this jack, it's going to be tricky to know what to do. The king is not great for us. Ace queen would be sad.
I don't think it's right to ask you not to play. But if you fold your cards, that's okay. And if you win it, I hope it makes you happy.
All right, aces. Can we get some action? Quick call. SPR is less than 1 now. I think we're going to trap check. And at this point, I think we're just going to play it really, really cool. Yeah, that's a bit of a cooler for the king-queen, really. You're always going to go broke there. But we're trying to catch some bluffs as well. There's not really that many bluffs in that spot, to be honest. But against the small continuation bet, they can float pretty wide. Anyway, happy days. We did manage to pull it off. So let's take a look at our results today. You don't have to worry. And then we'll take a look at some review, guys. All right, so this is what our graph looked like today. All right, so this is a graph of all of the games we've played today. This is our chip graph, of course, and our chip CV is looking pretty healthy today. We managed to maintain a pretty flat red line overall, but this is obviously a small sample. So we were down $50 overall. We had a 37 chip EV, which is very, very, very profitable. If we could have that all throughout the challenge, that would be something very special and probably not sustainable, of course. But this is today, and I think we actually did ourselves pretty proud. We ended up pretty far under EV, like 1.5K chips or something, but you know, whatever. This is one small sample. This doesn't really represent much at all, but we did have a good session. I have closed PokerStars now, guys. So PokerStars is closed, which means we can get into our study session. And that means during our study session, we're allowed to use some more advanced tools. Stuff that is not allowed for use during play, including the NickWalshTV chart pack, which is available for sale on my website, and perhaps even some GTO Wizard, which has been very, very useful. I have to say as well, guys, if I filter for this year so far, and we take a look at our chip graph here, I mean, our red line is popping right now. This could just be a sample thing. But what I would say is historically, I have never really had a winning red line, full stop. It's just not been something that I've done. I've relied much more heavily on my blue line, which is our profit and loss at showdown. So the blue line being represented here by this purple line, actually, whatever color that is. But yes, basically, I think that the study sessions are having a very serious impact on my overall win rate. It could also be to do with like the style of play that we're getting right now. I mean, we're playing against better players, which means we're going to the streets a little bit more often, so perhaps there's more red line to be won. If we're playing against very, very weak opponents, often having a red line is losing red line is going to be optimal, because what you're doing is waiting patiently for your opponent to make a huge mistake for a much larger pot at showdown or something like that. And very often when you're playing against bad players, you're just going to have to fold more often. You end up in multi-way pots a little bit more. The bluffs aren't nearly as effective because they hate folding, and therefore your red line just doesn't work in that fashion. But if we filter for, let's filter for everything since the start of the merge. So these are all spinning goes after the merge. And get rid of that as well. That's filtering specifically for $10. You can see that, you know, even at the 10s, we were still kind of slightly losing in red line. Turn on blue as well, we're here. And we were being sustained majority by our blue line. But now we seem to be flattening out here and actually even getting back into a profitable situation in red line. So I don't know if that's sample. I don't know if it's to do with the 25s. But generally speaking, I would say that we are picking up on more spots. And we are just playing better spinning goes now that we've practiced the faster version a lot more, which is cool. Tony says, when you limp Jack 10 off and hit top pair on the flop and he checks out of position, don't you want to deny equity and bet the flop and win the hand then? So honestly, Tony, I think betting with top pair would never be a problem. I think there is a slight benefit in an ISO pot to having some checks on that board. I think Jack 10 might be good enough just to bet, honestly. I think we play it unconventionally, certainly. I'm not as concerned about denying equity in that spot, because I think a lot of the hands that have significant equity will just kind of bet flop quite often. Like if he has 2 overcards to the Jack, a lot of times they just bet. But in response to your question, I think betting the top pair is never going to be a bad thing in this situation. One of the benefits of checking with that spot, in that particular situation, is if your opponent does ISO the correct range and they end up with second or third pair on that flop, which is definitely a thing, checking the flop does start to sort of lay seeds of, oh, my pocket 9s are good, or my pocket 10s are good, or my second pair on the flop was good, as in the second pair that was on the board. And that might actually merit a few more chips on later streets. But it depends. Some players will only ever check there if they're check jamming. Some players will only ever check when they have hands like I've just described. Some players will just check their ace, king, ace, queen when they don't connect. That was a reg, so I anticipate him to play a pretty solid strategy, but I think betting flop is going to be good. We just kind of went a bit off piece there. Perhaps we can take a look at that one again. Actually, I tell you what, we'll mark this for review. And let's take a look at what GTO does. Again, I'm not that concerned about always playing direct GTO in these spots, but I do think that probably if we're not going to bet flop, we should be betting turn. This was a goofy spot, though, I would say. Anyway, let's do some review. Hello, Pash, by the way. Good to see you. All right, so let's get into it. Hands marked for review. Queen 9 suited. We went for a push here. So I just want to look at the asymmetrical situation here, guys. So what do I mean by asymmetrical? I mean the fact that the big blind and the small blind are differentiated stacks. I think that when either of these players starts to get close to 13 big blinds effective, the average effective stack comes down, and we're allowed to push hands like Queen 9 suited. I mean, I know this is a profitable jam no matter what. I just want to see if GTO follows the same pattern from a strict sense. So really quick, guys, back to GTO Wiz. Double check on the Queen 9 push. So Queen 9 suited, just to double check our thought process here. If we start the game at 15, 15, 15, as in all players to have 15 big blinds, Queen 9 suited will be a steal, not all in. And then I believe as soon as we hit like 14 average, that's when we start to see. So this is the spot that we just saw. If we change this to symmetrical 15, 15, 15, and we look at the button range, Queen 9 suited is a raise, not all in. Yes. So these hands are very, very high equity situations, and it's going to be dead close already with a lot of these hands. Jack 9 suited. So as soon as we go down to 14, for example, suddenly Jack 9 suited, King 9 suited, these hands are in there a little bit more. And then when we go down to 13, we end up having all of these as jams, right? So when we're looking at this setup and This guy, we have about 14.5. This guy has about 13. It's somewhere in between the two, and we can guesstimate that Queen 9 suited is just a straight push here, which is great. I am way, 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 way more likely to just min-raise Queen 9 suited here as an exploit in a slower spinning go. So if we're playing a 100 or a 125 and we're playing against weaker opponents, just min-raise. Your opponents are going to call with the wrong range. Queen 9 suited is a beautiful hand. It plays very well in position. When we're playing against regs, we can afford to just play this one fast. Or if we're playing against any two opponents and it's a 2x multiplier, I think we want to be playing much faster and closer to a GTO strategy. Eagle Hunter, no problem. It's not done yet, though. All right, so not too dissimilar. This is another asymmetrical spot. I'm pretty sure that because this guy is so short and this guy is at around 14, we're just going to play this as the jam as well. So again, happy to just run this one through GTO Wiz. I do have some asymmetrical solves in the NickWalshTV chart pack. GTO Wiz has just done more of them, basically. And yeah, just a straight jam. There's really not too much. It's A7 anyway. This shouldn't be too difficult to spot, but this is the button strategy, and it's going to be a lot of our aces. A6 off is such a funny one. It's such a trash hand. A lot of times what you'll find is Ace5 is a push and then A6 off isn't. Obviously, A6 can't make the wheel. These are not wheel aces, and of course they are simply higher than Ace Deuce off. So, yeah, story checks out. Just double checking our work here. Like I said, a lot of these are pretty straightforward, guys. Also, Devin Smith says GG. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. So, blind v blind, there is a min raise and a call, and we arrive on this board. I think once we face a bet like this, we are going to want to shove. Let's take a look. I'm not going to take a look at the spoiler yet, but I'm pretty sure against this guy, it's a little bit trickier because I don't know this guy as well. This does strike me as we're probably doing well enough here to just be all in, but let's take a look. I could be wrong. Let's take a look at the post flop. Oh, nope, just the absolute confirmation we are going to bang this. Now, before we get into the nuts and bolts of this, first of all, we've aced it. This is just a very well-played hand. I'm not just saying that because we get a double tick, right, guys? Like, I think a lot of people have sort of come at me and said, oh, you think it's so important to be GTO. It's not important to be GTO all the time. It's just that in a spot like this where margins are very thin, I think playing this hand in this fashion is probably going to be the best way to play it, regardless of what GTO says. But just if it is also informed by GTO, it means that there's a basis in theory here. So the one thing I want to look at is, are we going to do the same thing with 5-4 without the 5 of hearts? I think having the 5 of hearts here is going to be a big difference. So if we take a look at the flop again, we're facing a big bet. First of all, it's important that our opponents have these big bets and they're doing it correctly, because the shove is awful if your opponent only ever bets big with a strong hand. I think I know this guy well enough to assume that he's going to be doing some of this. And with a frequency of 98% or whatever, I think probably we're going to be doing fine. But, like, we want to be aware, if your opponent always checks on this board and then bets 3 when they have a hand, you're getting cooked here. It's not good. We can't be shoving 5-4. So this is another example why double ticks are kind of pointless, right? But in this setup against somebody I recognize, I think this is good. This is fine. So anyway, once we face the all-in, I want to see once we are facing the bet, we have 5-4 off. Now, if just at a glance, you can see that there's a lot of just flat calling. I think having the 5 of hearts is particularly key to having the all-in here. So if we look at the breakdown bottom right, having the 4 of hearts means that we are all in more often. Having the 5 of hearts means that we are all in always. So having that additional equity is very, very relevant here. Having that additional equity is very, very important in this spot, basically. 4 of hearts has some relevance. The 5 of hearts much more so. If we take a look at other 5s, 5 tray is very similar in the sense that it's a pair, and then we have a backdoor heart draw, backdoor straight draw. But 5-6, not as much, right? 5-6 here, not as much. And having the 5-6 of hearts is like a superpower. We always just want to flat here anyway. Same goes for these ones. Same goes for these ones. So this is a very specific part of our range that wants protection, will be the best hand often, and has backdoors. Very important. and super, super interesting because we've nailed it, right? And this is good. I can look at this spot and honestly say that my response to the 3x bet here is very, very different than it was in the past. And I can honestly say this is not a spot that I would have seen previously. At a stack depth that, historically we have not played as high of a frequency as we would have done in a reg speed. So this is good. This is another strong indicator of we're starting to really lock in and we're starting to get a lot more spots correct. We end up getting this in against kings, but again, even against kings, I mean, what's our equity here? This is kind of relevant as well. Why can't I see equity? Oh, it's because his hand is hidden. That's why. Yeah, so we end up with 21% equity here, worst case scenario, which is not good. Of course, this is not what we aim for, but we still have something going for us, even when it's completely wrong. But I think we win this pot a fair amount, of course, as well. All right, let's keep those hidden and let's unmark that hand. Hello, Lighter. What's up? No, I started about an hour early today, mate. We have to get to the gym, so I'm trying to be responsible. I think we just run the Queen Jack suited here, guys. So this guy's all in for 6.5 bigs. What you're not seeing here is this was almost definitely a 2x multiplier. I just think Queen Jack of clubs has tons of equity. We have the additional dead big blind up here as well. I think we have to run the Queen Jack suited here. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one just here. Yeah, just to double tick. Let's take a look at the whole range. Small blind calling range looks like this. This is pretty standard, right? This is kind of what you're expecting. Maybe we don't call as wide as this, but that does make sense when you see it like this. But yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Let's not dwell too much on the easy ones. All right, so an opponent is all in for 15 big blinds, and I think we just run. So again, this would have been a 2x multiplier. We can look at this one in the NickWalshTV chart pack, which is even easier. So again, we're looking for data. We're looking for, oh, not data. We're looking for, let's take a look at images, three-way, in the small blind, facing a button, open shove, and we are at 15 big blinds effective. It's King Jack suited for sure. In fact, King 10 suited even is borderline 5% or 10% or something like that. So yeah, pretty straightforward. There's not really too much to think about there. All right, we're facing a limp, and we are shoving Queen 4 off. I think this is pretty straightforward. We just got the Queen 4 limp marked for review. So this was at, let's call this 8 big blinds effective, and let's go back to the NWTV chart pack. We're looking at heads up advanced, big blind versus limp, and we're looking at 8 effective. Yeah, Queen 4 off, easy enough just to play it as a pure push. Part of why I mark this is because I do have a tendency to over jam my offsuit queens at the stack depth when it should strictly be really queen deuce off 100% of the time, Queen 4 off most of the time. I'd say near enough 100%. But once we start to get to 50%, we need to be a bit careful because otherwise we're going to shove too many of those combos. And I do feel like this area down here is one that performs okay, but not as well as I'd like. And I think that's in part because I'm doing it too often. If we were to go from 8 big blinds to 7 big blinds effective, we suddenly actually do this with almost all of our weakest suited, offsuit queens. Same goes here. So that's 8-7-6. 8-7-6 in those combos. So, yeah, sure enough, just wanted to double check this was not 100%, and we nailed it. The push is also going to be completely fine, though. If this was a faster multiplier, always default to pushing. If this is a 2x or a 3x, don't mess around, just do it, unless you have a very specific note. Tony says that 5-4 offhand is a very typical of a short stack late tournament spot. Yeah, exactly. It is, isn't it, mate? And actually, Tony, I was doing some commentary with Griffin Benj. I think we might have been in Vegas or something like that, and we encountered a lot of these spots, and he was very confident. Griffin being a far more accomplished, far more skilled tournament player than I. And yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons why I went back and double-checked him. But it did feel good to know that my default, my go-to was this seems like a clear push. You know, that's a good sign of things. The problem that I have with that particular setup is if we're playing a reg, we can assume that the shove is good, right? Because that's kind of just what GTO says. If we're playing against an unknown, it becomes very, very, very difficult without notes, and that's why the note-taking is super important, right? If we have a guy that's very splashy with chips, he's not really thinking about his bet sizing at all, he's just slamming in bets because he wants folds, then obviously that becomes like a slam dunk push with most of our fours, most of our second pairs. If he's the kind of player that always bets small when he's strong and he bets big when he's bluffing, it's like a slam dunk push with all your fours. And the GTO of the spot changes considerably when you change the node. But yeah, you're right, and that is a good one. All right, so we got a 3x all in here. Okay, yeah, what I think we're calling with 6-4 here. I don't really know why this is marked. I think this is incorrectly marked. That seems like pretty obvious, right? Unless I'm missing something. Don't know. That was probably a misclick. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Queen 7's got to overcall here. I think we're just priced in. Let's take a look. No, you have to note that it was a three-way spot, guys. So 12 big blind shove, very short stack jam, and then we have 3 big blinds behind. Double tick call. Let's take a look at the whole range. We're looking for the big blind overcall. We're calling pretty much the whole deck, right? We're just too short to fold. We've already got 1 big blind in the middle. Story checks out. I picture that you visualize in your head how the charts look, Nick. Impressive. I kind of do. I mean, like, yeah, I'm not remembering by combo, Tom. It's mostly pretty pictures in my brain. It's mostly like a coloring book, a very poorly drawn coloring book in my mind. All right, so we're gonna jam King 7 of Hearts, and we're just checking the pre-flop here. This is pretty straightforward anyway. I tell you what, let's do it in GTO Wiz just because it will be more precise with the asymmetric. So honestly, at this spot, if we go back and look at the beginning of it, we're basically 10 effective against the big blind, but this guy's very short, which, like I said, it kind of drags down this sort of average effective stack. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like down to like King 5 suited or something like that. I don't know. Let's take a look at the actual range over here. Button. Ah, look at that. King 5 suited exactly. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, everything else is pretty straightforward, right? Any ace, obviously. Loads of our suited stuff. Loads of our suited Broadway, etc. Thank you, darling. Got coffee delivered. Just pre-gym coffee, guys. But yeah, nailed it. Like I said, King 5 suited, that feels like the right combo for me. And this is also another spot we were missing. We were not shoving nearly enough of our suited kings. The cool thing about these spots specifically is this is just math. Like, if GTO is shoving King 5 suited here, you just want to do it every time. There's not really any reason for us not to take a super high value spot, one that's good enough for GTO to push. Whereas, you know, a lot of the more of the post flop stuff is much more open to interpretation, and we have to be more fluid with the way we think about spots, because we can't just assume GTO is right because it assumes that everything that up until that point has happened the way that GTO would play, which is not reality. These spots, these pre-flop ones, are just insta-win. Like, you know, we're nailing these now. We have managed to increase our overall win rate by little fractions all over the place, and it's actually showing in our final results. And these daily sessions honestly are getting us really switched on right now. I feel like we're in a good place, poker-wise. Queen Jack, okay, so raise, and we decide to call, and this is against one of the best regs at the 25. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that we have to fold river here, but also I wouldn't be surprised if GTO assumes we have to call this all the way down just against a reg, but like it might also be a frequency thing. Let's take a look, because the king in particular feels bad. The other issue that we have is because this is a rainbow board, and then the diamonds are what start coming on the turn. Having the queen of diamonds means that our opponent has a lot fewer like queen X of diamonds that they're bluffing with, and then they continue to barrel. Like if they have queen Queen 6 of diamonds or something, they might bet this turn as a bluff and then it blast off blocking Queen 10. So let's take a look at the spot and let's see what the thoughts are. I think we might fold river. Okay, yeah. So like I said, we are calling on this river. On the turn, we're calling some, we're folding some. On the river, it's just 100% fold. So there is a real tipping point on this turn, and it's going to be very player specific. But overall, this is kind of what we're going to do some of the time. There is a decision point on the turn. A decision point on the turn. You know, we're going to call about half the time on this turn. And it's not this is not a high value situation for us in the slightest, really. So let's take a look at this and let's play around with some of the parameters, because I do think Queen of Diamonds in particular is not great. Great card for us to have. So Queen Jack offsuit is basically just always a fold on this river. Yeah, it's funny. Jack 10 is a better bluff catcher than Queen Jack. That's so interesting. That does make a little bit of sense, though. As I say, having a queen in our hand is not great. It's actually better. So if we take a look at this score over here, value removal 2. Sorry, we want bluff removal is what we're looking for. Yeah, and this is it. This is the reason why. This is exactly it. If you guys have never seen this feature, by the way, this is really interesting. These little numbers here are indicating how this particular combination removes value and also removes trash. And having Queen Jack, you can see these big numbers. So Queen 7 with the Jack of Diamonds. So Queen of Diamonds is relevant here. Jack of Diamonds is particularly relevant. But you can see that, you know, Queen Jack here, Queen Jack off has 8. It's removing 8 trash combos that will be in here, which effectively will also end up being bluffs at some frequency. So in these situations, having Queen Jack, which is a stronger hand than Jack 10, is actually a worse bluff catcher. Jack 10 is a better bluff catch, given the fact that we do not have a queen in our hand. And the queen, like I said, is going to be pertinent to the way I described. It could be like a semi-bluff on the turn that is like now a complete bluff on the river. That's super interesting. Anyway, let's take a look at... Let's say that the flop instead... Let's just duplicate this quick. Let's say that the flop instead is... let's say that this ace tray of diamonds on the flop. And then everything else is the same. Then it's the king of spades. Wait. Let's say it's the tray of clubs on the turn now. And then it's the same river. So now it's the king of spades. Let's say it runs like this. And I want to look at the turn action now. So we have a big bet on the turn and we decide what we're going to do. So look at this. This is so interesting. So if we take a look at the turn action here. Look at this. Look at this. And this is exactly what I was highlighting before we even looked at this solve. So you know that we're onto something here, right? If we take a look at... Whoa, that was close. Hey, Ruthie, can you grab me a tissue really quick, please? Thank you. Almost spilled the coffee, guys. So you can see here on this turn, when we have Queen Jack, this was Queen of Diamonds, Jack of Hearts specifically. So what you're seeing here is specific to that combo. We are going to do a significant amount of folding with our second pair in this situation. Okay? So Queen Jack is doing some folding here, and it is kind of to do with this specific combination that we have. So we had Queen of Diamonds, Jack of Hearts, and you can see having the Queen of Diamonds here in this context is very, very relevant for the reasons that I highlighted, right? Because if you're going to call with a Jack here, what you want is for your opponent to have more semi-bluffs on the turn. You want your opponent to have more ways in which to bluff you, okay? So you want them to have air on the flop that becomes equity on the turn that bluffs. So having the Queen of Diamonds here means we're actually going to be folding a significant amount of the time. Queen of Diamonds, Jack of Hearts wants to fold 51% of the time on this turn. However, if we put the flush draw on the flop, this is the flush draw on the flop. This is the diamond draw on the flop, and then the club comes on the turn. Having Queen Jack in this setup is much, much better because your opponents will have way more natural bluff flop, bluff turn as semi-bluffs. So in this setup, just with that one change, Queen Jack goes from maybe you want to let go if you have a diamond in your hand to now we're going to be calling almost 100% of the time. How cool is that? And that was something we anticipated ahead of looking at the solve. So this is really, really good to know, and this is why in the actual game itself, we're probably starting to make very, very precise decisions, not just based on specific combos, but specific combinations with specific suits as well. And yeah, this is good. We feel all these things in the moment, right, in the actual gameplay. So this is excellent. I'm feeling really good about this. We need to keep an eye on suits in these spots, and that will be very relevant. It's going to have a big impact. Yeah, I'll be back at a normal time tomorrow, Lighter. Thank you, buddy. Tony says, I'm watching YouTube because the Twitch is lagging. Sorry about that. I spent the last 6 months studying GTO using AI, and I'm crushing it at the moment. I find AI easier to use than GTO Wizard. When you say AI, are you using a specific language model, or how are you using it? I'm interested to hear that. Okay, so anyway, good stuff. Jack 10, here we go. So we limp, our opponent raises, and we call. Okay, so this was the spot that me and Tony were discussing. So Tony said, like, don't you just want to bet flop here? I think probably the answer is yes. Having Jack 10 with no heart is interesting, though. If we don't have a heart, it means we don't have a flush draw. So that's relevant, as in we're not going to get more equity usually unless we hit a Jack or a 10. So we don't have like an obvious way to improve in a backdoor. We are going to have the best hand with top pair like pretty much all the time. However, in an ISO pot where there's already 6 big blinds dead, there will be some check shoving on this flop, right? And a lot of the check shoves I would imagine are going to come from flush draws. So if we don't have a heart in our hand, does that slightly improve the chances our opponents will have a heart that they might want to check jam? The answer is probably yes. If we get check jammed on, do we want to fold? No, we're probably just supposed to go broke here every time. In fact, that might be an argument for why we just bet flop. Like, this is a game of very small edges, and it's not that I'm not checking here because I am strictly afraid of the fact our opponent is trapping us. But what I would like to do is allow our opponent to believe that we have a less strong hand in a spot where they might have the advantage to do so. So let's just look at it, because honestly there is probably one right answer here. Sir Blackroll is a very good reg, so like this is probably going to be mostly a GTO exercise. Let's take a look and see what they think. If anything, if I'm checking flop, I'm supposed to bet turn, I think, but I don't know. We'll see. All right, so first of all, on the flop, there is some checking, but almost no checking. So the bet on the flop is absolutely more natural, as expected. This is not unusual. And let's take it from there. Let's actually solve from that spot. So this is a ISO'd pots. Our opponent actually goes to 3, though. So this is a slightly larger than GTO size, which does impact on the way the hand's going to play. So let's bear that in mind. And then once we arrive on this flop, let's take a look at what wants to check here. How many hands want to check here that are strong? So there's obviously a fair amount of checking on this. This board obviously is not going to be super great for the ISO range all the time. top set wants to check. Tens, nines, eights, like, that's some part of it. They just kind of want to bet more often than nothing, though. So, there is some checking. I would say that, for the most part, we're just going to be, seems pretty obvious, like kind of what we're betting. Let's say that we check, and then what's the size that they wanted us to use here? Okay, check. Let's say that we have Jack 10 exactly. They want us to bet 2 most of the time. Let's say that we bet 2. And the all-ins are going to come from 10s, 9s, 8s. Let's include raise as well, kings, queens. And these presumably are going to be hearts quite often. Yeah. I don't know. These combos are not going to do that as often, though. They're going to be a lot more calls because they have showdown as well as equity. Okay, so honestly, on this flop texture, the check raise thing is not really happening often enough, which means the bet 2 is just going to be super obvious, right? So let's say that our opponent calls, and then we end up on king of spades. I'm assuming that we're going to go check on the turn. Nope, good enough to keep blasting. So, yeah, in essence, definitely just a missed flop bet here. And I think there's an overarching kind of pattern, right? Because in situations where I'm missing bets here, it's partially an exploit, so I'm not that worried about like missing a bet here when we have quite a strong hand. But the denial of equity is unmistakably like important here to Tony's point. And also, I think we probably end up stacking 10s and 8s and 9s anyway enough when we just bet flop. I don't know. There's another layer here as well though. So if I call an ISO, how often am I bluffing at this board? If I have a heart draw or a straight draw, I suppose it's probably very relevant. So the Jack 10 bet is going to be very clean. So yeah, absolutely just a bet here. And we should not be avoiding the conflict. Let's just get the chips in and be happy. All right, so that's it for today. That was the full report, gang. And yeah, we're making good progress here, and the 25s are slowly starting to improve. If we take a look at this year again, we're definitely coming out of that little downswing we had there. We had a couple ugly sessions, a lot of which was outside of our control, but we are now at an all-time high in terms of our chip CV. So a little bit more like this, another couple sessions in this direction, I think we'll be on a much more healthy overall chip EV. But I'm going to say I feel pretty proud about what we're doing right now, guys. I think we're making a lot of minute, small sort of improvements across all the different spots that we're playing, and I think we're starting to get a lot of them very, very right. I think our adjustment for the multiplier effect is also having a massive impact. I had a lot of very good feedback from the community about how we're playing some of the shortest stack depths. And historically, around 8 big blinds heads up or something like that, we were crushing super hard in the context of playing around 8 or 9 big blinds effective quite often heads up, and then in the context of having a lot longer in our clocks. However, once we start to get to around 6 big blinds, 5 big blinds, I think we were trying to apply concepts that were very effective in reg speed to where they're not really applicable in Flash. So we are starting to ramp those up, and I think it's having a fairly large impact on our red line here as well. So there we are, guys. I think we're making progress. We need to keep grinding. We need to keep the focus up, but there's going to be more like this all this week. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for sure. Friday is still maybe. Mondays and Fridays are always going to be maybes. But I am looking forward to making some more content with you guys, and I'm looking forward to putting up some more numbers towards our challenge. And like I said, I can't announce the challenge until I have it all confirmed, but we are going to play a large volume of spinning goes this year, and we're going to share all of our details as we go. Profit and loss, total games played, total money gambled, multiplier frequencies, multiplier results, first place, second place, third place, highest multiplier, lowest multiplier, blah, blah, blah. All that's going to be in there. So I'm going to sign off for now, guys. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Defiance, sorry we missed you. I'll see you tomorrow, though, buddy, 2 p.m. UK. And, yeah, let me know how you guys are getting on. Good luck at the tables. I'll see you guys very shortly. I'm off to the gym because I go to the gym now because I'm so cool. Love you guys.